Hi guys, welcome. I am going to be trying a new sourdough bread recipe this week. This recipe is supposed to be a soft sandwich bread recipe. Never tried it before. Super excited to give it a shot because looking at store-bought bread, ew. And the goodish bread, the stuff that's decent, is really expensive. So if I can make my own sandwich bread and eat delicious sourdough sandwiches at school, or not at school, at lunch every day, I'm stoked for it. Here we go. This recipe I found from a gal. Her username on TikTok is Casa Califano. She uses everything in grams. So I have my scale, I have my bowl, and we're gonna give this a shot. So the first thing that we are going to start with is going to be 300 grams of starter. So we'll go ahead and get that in our bowl. Now, I usually do all of this by measurement, not weight. So we are learning. Okay, there's our 300 grams of starter. And then 650 grams of warm water. All right. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my Dutch whisk to get my starter and water all mixed together. All right, it's done. Now we're gonna add our honey, oil, salt, and flour. For honey, we are going to add 50 grams of honey. Cool. There's that. And then oil. We're going to use avocado oil for this, and it's 40 grams. 40 grams of avocado oil. That works. Okay. And then 20 grams of salt. And I like to use the Redmond's salt. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give this a quick little mix here. Just get it all working together. Smells good. Okay, now we're gonna add our flour, which is going to be 1,000 grams of flour. Tape that out. Okay, there we have it. I'm gonna take this off the scale. This is heavy. Get it all mixed. Oh boy. I might have to switch to a little bit bigger bowl. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Yee. From here, you're gonna mix this really well till there's not any dry flour spots. And it's a lot. Holy cow, this feels like a lot, but I'm excited. I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. Okay, now that we have all of our ingredients mixed, I don't know if you can see it in the bowl. Still looks really wet and lumpy. So we're gonna cover it and let it rest for an hour. I am just using one of my proofing bowl cloths. It fits perfectly over this bowl. And I just got it wet with some warm water. And we're just gonna let it sit on the counter for an hour. And then we will start our first stretch and pull. So see you in an hour. All right, we have let our dough rest for an hour. Now I am going to just start my first, I'm gonna get my hands wet. It's really sticky dough, which is normal. Wash this off really fast here. So something you can do to help with the stickiness of the dough is just get your hands wet. But what I'm doing right now is I'm doing my first set of stretch and fold here in the bowl. Just kind of stretching it and folding it over. Stretch and fold. It smells delicious. Thank you, sir. Go let the dogs in. This is like so sticky. All right. So we're gonna do 3 more of these. After this round, and they're going to be 30 minutes apart. So okay, now let it sit for another half an hour. Okay, this is going to be our second round of stretch and folds. Again, just getting my hands wet. I'm just gonna stretch and fold it. I do notice that the flour is a lot less sticky this round. It's as clingy as it was before. So it's cool to see that change happening. Round 2. Done. It is cold here today. It snowed all night last night and I still have snow on the ground. So because it's cold and the house is usually a little bit cooler than bread likes it, it's comfortable for us inside the house. I have the light on in my oven and I am covering this with my moist rag and putting it in the oven so that way it's warm in there while in between these stretch and folds. So that was the second round of stretch and fold. We're gonna put it back in the oven with the light on just to give it a nice warm environment. And then we'll pull it back out in another 30 minutes to do the third round of stretch and fold. The last set of stretch and folds. Get your hands wet first. I seem to forget that every time. Okay. So after this, we now are going to cover this and let it sit overnight. So we will have bread in, ow, ooh, I jammed my finger. We will have bread tomorrow. So I'm gonna cover this with my cloth again, put it in the fridge to sit overnight, and do like a bulk rise with it. So catch you guys in the morning. Okay, it is now the next morning. I have pulled out my dough out of the fridge and I've been letting it sit for a couple of hours now. It has risen quite a bit, which is super exciting. So the next thing we want to do is you want to make sure you have your bread pans out and ready. That one apparently needs to be wiped out a little bit. So have those out and spray them. I am going to use just some olive oil spray just to make sure we don't have any sticking. Okay. And you can use whatever you like. I like to use the spray. You can use butter or ghee or whatever you want. Okay, so those are sprayed out. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your dough and just let it naturally release from your bowl, which I've never actually done this before, so we're gonna just encourage it. Here it goes. Look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh. That is so much dough. Ah! I'm so excited about it. Okay. So now from here, you're going to want to get a knife. I have also sprayed my counter to help keep the dough from sticking. You can use a knife or I don't know what this is called. It's like a little spatula cutter, and just cut the dough in half. You can weigh it to make sure. I'm just going to eyeball it for today to split my 2 loaves in half. Okay, so we have our 2 loaves here. I'm going to put this one off to the side, and I'm going to grab my rolling pin so I can flatten this out. In fact, actually, I think I'm going to put this in a bowl. I'm going to flatten this out into a rectangle shape. Okay, what you can do with your rolling pin is you can get it wet so that it doesn't stick to the dough. Because from what I saw on the video, you don't want to use a lot of flour because you want the dough to be able to stick to itself to create that super nice loaf of bread. While you are rolling this out, you want to try and get as many air bubbles out as you can. So we're going to do that. Okay. Okay, so, all right. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, and then I might just have to use this guy to kind of help us out here. This is real sticky stuff, I tell you. Which is good. That's how we want it, right? Okay. Now from here, you want to take your long edges of your dough. And again, you can use this to kind of help. You're going to want to fold them in to the center. But then at the same time not overlapping them too much. Right, okay, so like that. Now look at this side. Fold it as well. There we go. Gonna get those edges into the center, as close to the center as possible. And then take your corners and fold them in like a little envelope. From here, you're just gonna roll it. Okay, and we're gonna roll it and roll it. Okay. Now then, this is, ooh. Let me wet my hands here. Okay. So from here, you're going to want to get the seams all tucked in. You want your seams side down. A nice little uniform. And we're gonna drop it in our pan. Perfect. So there is one. Ooh, that's the first time I've done that. And I think I had a little too much water. Get that a little wet with my wet hands. Okay. Let's try it with this second one real quick here. Come out, little friend. Okay. Try this and then all right, let's roll her out. Let's see how this one goes. Hopefully a little bit better than last one. I just feel like the last one was really sticky. But maybe that's normal. I don't know, you guys. This is the first time I've made this loaf, so, or this type of bread. Let's guess what I should say. So, working on getting all my little air bubbles out of here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, pull these, kind of help shape it a little bit more, so we get more of that rectangle shape. All right, this is definitely going much better than that first one. It's always the first one, you've got to learn. It's a learning curve. Okay, let's fold these sides in. This side. Okay. Fold those in. Okay. Fold it like an envelope and just start rolling. Okay, try and tuck it all in here. Okay, get our second pan. Whoa, hands are so slippery. Okay, and that's gonna go in our bread pan. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna cover these with a moist towel, and I am going to let them rise in the pan for an hour. So I'll be back. My microphone died, so there was no sound on the video I just recorded showing you what we did next. We have allowed our bread to rest in the tins for about an hour, and then we cut 3 slashes in them using our bread lame. If you don't have one of those, use a sharp knife. Then from there, we covered our loaves, or excuse me, we sprayed the top of our loaves with some water. I don't have a spray bottle, so I just sprinkled some water on there. And then you're gonna loosely cover your loaves with tin foil. Be sure to spray the side of the tinfoil that's going to be facing your dough with some cooking spray or melted butter, whatever you want to do. So that way it doesn't stick to your bread as it bakes. And then we're just waiting for our oven to preheat to 400 degrees, and we're going to cook these for 35 minutes with the tinfoil on. All right, we are going to go ahead and take the foil off the top of our loaves real quick here, and then we're also going to turn the temperature down to 375 and continue baking the loaves for about 15 minutes. Probably should have grabbed both of these. They look amazing. There's one. Let's get the other. Come on, little guy. Okay. All right, guys. So the audio on this clip is lost because my mic died. So we have finished baking our loaves at 375 for 15 minutes, and you're gonna go ahead and pull those loaves out of the oven and place them on the cooling rack to cool off. Don't they just look amazing? I wish you guys could smell how delicious they are. Now, before you take your loaves out of the bread pans, you're going to check the internal temperature of each loaf. Make sure you are sitting right around 200 degrees Fahrenheit on each one. And as long as your loaves are at temperature, you're going to use a butter knife just to release the sides of your loaf before you try and turn them out of the pan. If you have sprayed your pan really well, this shouldn't be a problem getting them to come out. They just pop right out of here. After you have taken your bread out of your pans, go ahead and let them cool on a cooling rack until they are completely cooled, and then you should be able to cut into them and enjoy your bread. Okay, I just cut into my loaf of bread. I'm about to make myself the sandwich. But check this out, look how pretty that is. Ooh, and it's so soft, like so good. Absolutely delicious. I am going to tag the girl on TikTok who I got this recipe from. So go check out her page. I will also put a link so you can just print off the recipe just from myself. But definitely be sure to like and follow and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on so you can see when our next video is up. We'll see you next week.